Good afternoon, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Hope everyone is ready for another opportunity to pass an eval. And when the actual news event is at 2 o'clock, where the data drops, not worried about anything that happens at 2:30. The 2:30 is a press conference. That is not the data drop. We are trying to rapidly pass evals when there's a large injection of volatility in the market based on a news event happening and a data drop. So the press conference at 2:30 definitely will inject some volatility as well, but it's not something that we could actionably play when it comes to passing evals. Hey, Troop, how you doing, brother? So we are here again. FOMC, there's some mixed feelings on FOMC. It's definitely not one of the higher end news events. In other words, a very high passing rate. I've actually I think I've failed more FOMCs than I've passed FOMCs, but you guys want to do this, and every opportunity we get is another chance to expedite some evals. So we're here and we're going to give it a go. So we'll go ahead and start as always with the data sheet. And as you can see, for FOMC, currently with my setup, as most of you know, for an Apex account, a 250K account, I'm looking for a 24-point pad. That's going to give me the highest passing percentage of 67%. Still not all that great if you look at it compared to like CPI has a 78% passing rate, and then NFP also has a 78% passing rate. This is definitely one of the lower percentage wise of passing rates, but like I said, we'll give it a go. For those that are new here, I've been again. I hate to be a broken record for those that aren't new and that have been on many of these OSOK streams. Hey, Kyra, and Krypton. I don't want to have to sound like a broken record, but I feel I have to just because there are a bunch of new people each time joining the stream. So essentially, what we're doing is we are simply going to straddle the market, and we are going to place orders on both sides of the market. So that way, regardless of which way the news events goes, hopefully we get executed one way or the other, and we run to a profit, and we're able to pass evals. I've created the protection pad based on historical data. And what this data does is usually there's always some type of manipulation move, or there's not a manipulation move before the actual real move happens. So the pad of protection we use to place our orders on as a spread to prevent us from possibly getting wicked out in the opposite direction. So, first column here is the first 5 minutes after a news event happens. And this is measuring from if it's an up close candle, it's from the open to the high. If it's a down close candle, it's from the open to the low. And then the manipulation column here is simply how much did price go in the other direction before it made its run. So over the last almost year and a half of FOMC meetings, on average, price to either open high or open low runs on average 72 points, and then the average manipulation is 24 points. So in this situation, a 24-point pad is going to give us the best passing percentage. Now, again, this is based on an Apex 250K account, which allows for a max contract allocation of 27 contracts, and the passing goal is 15,000. Everyone may have something a little different. I know a 150K account, for example, with Tradeify, they allow you 15 contracts max allocation with a $9,000 passing target. And you have a little less of passing rate, and that's because you need 2 more points to pass than you would on a 250K Apex account. So each type of eval is going to be different depending on the max amount of contracts you're allowed to allocate and then what your passing target is. So for me, a 250K Apex account, it's 27 contracts, and my goal is $15,000. So that I need 28 points to pass. So if my pad is 24, that means we aren't going to have a order entered until price moves at least 24 points, and it needs to go 24 plus 28. So we're at 52 points in order to pass an account. So that's where all these stats come into play. If you want access to these data sheets, there's two ways you can do it. You have to be a member of either the Market Lens by T Trades and AM Trades, or in the Unicorn University over by Ash Trades. Links to both of those communities are in the description, as well as if you want to give some love and buy an Apex account. I want to do it right now because they don't have great sales. Make sure to use my code DayTradingRealtor, and that'll give you whatever the best discount is right now. I know Tradeify is one account. I've always used Apex for everything. Tradeify is one of the accounts that I'm going to start diversifying. I'm almost at my 20 accounts with Apex, so I'm going to start using Tradeify. They do have a current advanced plan right now, very similar to Apex, very similar rules, and a $150,000 advanced account right now is on sale for just $35. I don't have a coupon code for them. It is what it is. But if you go to Tradeify's website, you'll see they have a $35 upfront fee, and then if you pass, it's on sale for $99 currently right now. So we will go and see what we got on the charts here. How many of you are new and have no idea what's going on right now? First time? Okay, Marco. Have you watched any of the videos before? He's new. First time, first time. Very good. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I spoke to both of you guys today. So the spreadsheet, Caitlin, if you go into the Unicorn University, there is over on the left panel, you'll see all their channels. There's one called OSOK method. If you go into that channel, you will see a link to the spreadsheet. And it should be version 2.3. You're going to have to put in some of the news data yourself to update. I think that's only up until November. So you're going to have to put in the last one, which is 88.5 and 6.5. And we'll go over that so some of you who are new, how to actually place the orders, or not place orders, but actually fill out the data sheet so you can have the most accurate and up-to-date information. But I have said multiple times, I'm going to stop updating the news data sheets. This way it forces you as individuals to do this yourself, because the more you do on your own, the better you're going to become at it. As well as you guys always know, my full disclaimer on this is that even though we try to have a statistical edge in this, this is as close to gambling as you're going to get. So I want to do this on something that may cost you $400 or $500 for the eval. If you can't sustain the loss of the cost of the eval and literally lighting it on fire, whether it's $35, whether it's $18, whether it's $150, whatever your eval may be, don't do this, right? This is only for those who accept the risk. They know that there's a chance they can lose. They know there's a chance they can win, and they're okay with losing the cost of the eval. Likewise, once this is over, we go right back to the model that we're trading. This is not something that we're going to trade our own cash accounts or our funded accounts with. This is not a trading model. This is a high risk, high intensity, we call it high intensity, rapid eval passing method. That's it. It's one shot, one clip, one shot, one kill, which means we have one chance here to either pass or fail. Last couple FOMCs haven't been all that great. So we'll see. In fact, let's go over that real quick on here. So the last one was okay. The one before that was absolutely garbage. It was a 26-point manipulation, and I don't know what the pad was at that time, but it was probably very similar, and price really didn't do anything. If I remember correctly, I think it just kind of opened and did nothing. So if that happens, and in the first 5 to 10 to 15 seconds, I don't see price moving, I'm gonna just close out my orders. I'm not messing around with it. I want this to happen instantly. And when it does, it happens really fast. So um, that's the beauty of it. So the lines you see on your chart here is my OSOK protection pad. There's links in this video to this indicator. It's a free indicator, but it's not a public indicator, so you have to have the link to it. And that simply is just shows us where we need to move our orders to when we place them on the screen. So first things first, I'll go through. No, Tyree. I mean, you could if you want. I mean, maybe, or we can just meet up someday and you can just hand it over to me. I know you're not far from me, so maybe me and T will meet up with you someday and you can just hand it over to us. Um, so what we start with is we're going to place orders on the screen, and they're going to be stop orders. They're not limit or market orders. They're stop orders. So for the short side, what we're going to do is when we're below price, we right click on our mouse, we go to trade, we go to create new order. We're going to go to sell, and we're going to make sure we're on a stop order. I'm going to put in my max contract allocation, which is 27 contracts, and then my take profit target. I usually do 16,000. We will get some slippage, which is okay. That's just what's going to happen. That's going to probably drop down to 15,930. We'll hit sell. We'll just let this sit on the chart. Make sure it's far enough away from price that these little price moves that happened before, we don't get executed accidentally. And then we're going to go above price. We're going to right click, go to trade, create new order, and then we're going to create a buy stop order. Same thing, you put in your max contract allocation, and then you take profit, and then you hit the buy button. So all we're going to do now is we're going to wait until about 10 seconds beforehand. And then what we do is we're going to hold the shift key down, and then we're going to drag our orders right down to the top and the bottom of the protection pad, and then we let go. Now, once price starts to move and one side gets executed first, the first thing we're going to do is we want to close out the other side first. So if price opens, say it manipulates higher, doesn't hit the buy side, and then drops lower and the sell stop gets executed, we want to close out the buy side, and vice versa if it happens the other way. Now, price can move so fast and in such a wide range, you get wicked out on both sides. So that's part of the risk. So we will see. We're here. This is only for evals. This is not for fundeds. Ramon said that. I don't know if maybe you're asking a question or answering some of these questions. This is only for evals. We don't do this on funded accounts, guys. So, and in fact, most prop firms will not allow you to do this on funded accounts, and you're not thinking smart if you want to do this on a cash account, because you will lose a lot of money real fast on a cash account. So I got you. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. These questions coming fast while I'm trying to do this and pay attention, guys. So if I missed your question, once this is over, I'll go back and try to answer them. But we got about 40 seconds left here. Again, I wait till there's about 10 seconds left, and then I'll move my orders. Good luck, everyone. Let's see. The last 3 news events have been really good. PPI, CPI, and NFP all passing. So hopefully the market makers give us something good again today, but we will see shortly. So about 5 seconds here. I'm going to go ahead and start moving my orders now. My sell side, and now the buy side. And now we wait. Yep. So I think I actually got liquidated. So that's one of the things when price does that real quick and comes back up, the trailing drawdown can liquidate you. Let me actually look at my account. Let's see what happens. And this is one of the risks of some of these lower volatility news events, is if price doesn't move super fast. Yeah, your paper, if you're doing it on paper trading, you're not. It's going to freeze on you big time. It will freeze, and you won't be able to do anything. Yep. Let's take a look. I think I got liquidated too, guys. Let's take a look. Yep, I was definitely liquidated. So, yep, there's a fail. So, and this is what I was talking about. So, technically everything worked. The pad prevented us from getting wicked out in the other direction, but price just didn't move fast enough in the direction we needed it to, and it went down and up. So this is a great example, and I'm actually I don't like it when people fail, but I like it so you can see why I say some of these news events are better than other news events. So everything can line up and work in the manner we want it to as far as the protection pad, but if price doesn't move fast enough and far enough in that one direction, then this is what happens. So let's just measure it real quick. Where we started here, we went down. So it went 60 points, but the problem was it didn't go straight to 60 points. It went down and then back up, and your trailing drawdown got hit. So, but this is a great example. We had 3 straight wins in a row. Here we had one fail. So that's a good thing. So technically, now that price is moving up, if this winds up being an up close candle, then this is all the manipulation down here. So again, we want to see it open and just immediately shoot down or up. We don't want any of this. And I had a feeling that was going to happen just because of the fact that we've had 3 really good ones in a row with basically zero manipulation. Plus, NFP or FOMC hasn't been all that great. I don't know what happened. Yep, it's all part of the game. Let's actually take a look at this. We can talk about this real quick. So, the news event also matters with the current state of the economy and what is happening. So, what do we do here? So, FOMC paused their rate cut. Everybody was expecting them to pause their rate cut. So, the reason why this wasn't a very high volatile event is because they did what everybody expected them to do. So if they would have cut or raised, which they wouldn't raise, but if they would have cut when everyone expected them not to, we would have probably seen a lot more volatility than what we just saw right here. But they did what everyone expected them to do. So there wasn't that much volatility into the market. That is what it is. So we keep on moving along. So Duke, you passed. Did anybody wind up actually passing? Yep, absolutely, Fernando. So my first 2 attempts, 2 or 3 at this were fails. The first few times that I actually did it, but I kept going. Um, Fernando, I personally would not attempt PCE. It's not. It's again this PCE on average has even lower volatility than tones. You passed 19 accounts. Tones. Oh, on the last event. I got you. Yeah, on the last event. Yeah, yeah. No, PCE is not. I wouldn't do it. Me personally, I'm not going to do a stream for it. I will stick to NFP, CPI, and FOMC. And although I don't stream PPI, I can tell you this now. I have officially passed more accounts on PPI than I have FOMC. So PPI again, it doesn't have the greatest volatility. However, what I've noticed between PPI and CPI is that usually when there's a really good PPI, there's a really good CPI, and vice versa. It just depends. Sometimes PPI comes first over CPI. It just depends on how it falls on the calendar. But yes, Johnny, the CPI is definitely the highest passing rate and has the highest amount of volatility. Next would be NFP. So, um, you guys can test this method on any event that you want. I've tried doing it at a 9:30 open, right? Haven't really ever been successful on it, but I've tried it just to test out different ones. Other news events that I've been testing it on haven't really, not much has happened is on oil inventories. Sometimes oil inventories moves, and like today I did it, oil inventories, nothing executed. Price did absolutely nothing once the oil inventories dropped. So it just depends on the news event itself. But hands down, the highest probability and the highest volatility are you're going to be CPI and NFP, number one and number two, hands down. So, but that's it. That's all we got today, folks. Anybody have any questions? All right. Doesn't look like there's any questions. Let me see if there's anything I missed here. Passed. Trading yoga passed. Duke passed. Let's see. Got auto liquidated. So thanks. Thanks for joining, Pete. Yeah, I don't see any questions. So, yeah, Catalan, what? Absolutely, Kyra. I'll catch you later, brother. What questions do you have as far as details on the OSOK indicator? Absolutely, Marco. We just keep going, brother. Keep the cost down. Yeah, I've looked at Euro. I've looked at 6E at doing this, and sometimes 6E, because it's more directly correlated with the dollar than Nasdaq is. And yeah, so that is pretty big. So what I've noticed is that sometimes the 6E will move more than the indices, but the price needs to move farther. So, say for example, if you only needed to go 28 points on Nasdaq, right, to pass, okay, plus whatever your pad is, the Euro futures, it's almost like, I don't know the exact math, but it's almost like double the amount of distance it needs to go to do the same thing that the indices do. So. Uh, No, so Catalan. So the news, the pad itself, it you adjust it. So essentially, if I go and the pad only works on indices because that's what I built it for. Because I only do this on Nasdaq. I have tried it on oil, but again, I don't have a pad for oil, so I have to do it manually. But no, the way you get access to the indicator, it's a unprotected private indicator because TradingView, every time I published it public, they would take it down because they said it wasn't unique enough. So it's a private indicator. So if you guys go into the description of this video, there is a link to a TradingView where you can get the indicator. But all it is it's just manually putting price above and below, or manually putting these lines above and below price based on the number of points that you put in there. So that's why we have the spreadsheet. Okay. The spreadsheet is where you find each news event's different. So CPI was 44. Last CPI was fantastic. It went 287 points with only a 4.5 point manipulation, which means we had a 44 point pad plus 28 points. That's 72 points price needs to move in order to pass. Well, price moved 287 points, right? So each news event's different. NFP, it was a 25 point pad and price went up 18 points. So the pad protected you from this 18-point manipulation. And then price went on to move 251 points after that. So the spreadsheet itself is where you get the data. And then the OSOK indicator is where you put that in. So like for CPI, you go ahead and put in there 44 points, and it's going to move it to 44 points above and below price. So that's how the indicator works. Yeah, Claxon. If you, it's in the description of this video if you haven't already gone to and checked it out. So, on another note, I'm excited because in about 50 minutes, will be 3 o'clock and it's earnings day. So I get to play my earnings strategy, which is not a future strategy. It's not an ICT concept. It's not a unicorn. It's not a T trades model. It's not an AM model. It's my own model that I trade specifically pertaining to um, earnings, and I only do it on 4 companies. And which time frame is best for this strategy? It really doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter. I just do it on the 5 minute, Catalan. It doesn't matter really. You can do it on 1 minute. It's all the same. The news data is based on the first 5 minute candle, and the indicator is the same no matter if you're on a 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute. It doesn't matter. So that's all the same. So you would probably want to line it up with what the news data sheet is, and that's the 5 minute. So, but anyways, I'm excited because I only get to play these earning strategies once every quarter. They are really good. It's a similar fashion in the matter that I'm not trying to play one direction. I am playing essentially both directions of the market. And the only thing I want to not happen is for price to sit still. As long as price blows out and goes one way or another, then we make money either direction. So they're called broken wing compound butterflies, is what I do. It's a spread on each side of the market, or a Batman. If anybody understands what those are, the risk profile looks like a Batman head outline. So that's the big deal for me today, because I only get to play that every quarter. So on that note, if anyone else has any other questions, I'm going to head off. Absolutely. You're welcome, Marco. We'll get them next time, guys. Next big news event is NFP. I believe that is next week. Next week, I think it is. It is next week. Actually, you know what? Is it next week? It should be. Yes, it is. So next Friday, the 7th, will be NFP. That'll be the next time we will get a chance to pass and stack more accounts. So until next time, everyone, go back to proper risk management. Go back to trading your model. If you had instant order replacement on, you don't actually have to turn it off anymore. But just to be safe, you can. And stay safe and happy trading.